That was fun. What's next?
Boindil looks at you, and the sparkle in his eyes goes out.
We are both very sorry about what happened here, Tungdil.
He told me, Cinthara said. I convinced myself that...
You gulp and turn away from your friends.
What I call a goodly challenge. Cover me.
Not a good idea if you want to go on living, dwarf.
You've got quite a big mouth for someone who sounds like a girl.
You are Andikai, the Tempestuous, right?
Correct. And you are Tungdil, Lot Yonan's charge.
Honourable Mager, what news of Lot Yonan? Does he live?
Andikai looks at you in silence, pain and rage slowly spreading across her face.
He is dead, Tungdil, along with Myra, Turga, and Sabora. Nod-On killed them all and destroyed the Council of Magi.
The certainty of their death is painful. It feels as though someone has just torn your insides out.
He killed their best pupils, too. And now he's the unchallenged Magus in Girdlegard.
It was you, wasn't it, that attacked them with the lightning? Were you any more successful than we were?
Andikai shakes her head.
He defied everything I threw at him. All of my skills. In vain. I soon realized he was superior to me, but I wanted to buy you some time.
Nodon's famulus said that he had changed the magical fields, but you still seem to be able to use them.
Andikai smiles.
I'm not quite as benevolent as the other Magi. My god Samusin is the god of balance. He loves the darkness as much as the light, which means I can use both. But my powers aren't unlimited. It is difficult for me to store and use this altered magic. We should avoid confrontation as much as possible.
Your companion, won't he sit with us and introduce himself?
Yes! Hey, you up there! Can you even hear us with that bucket on your head?
Jerun is mute, and he won't do you any harm unless I command him to. And as long as you treat him with courtesy, dwarf.
Boindil seems to briefly weigh up his chances against the two of them.
I decide when I'm courteous. Just don't get in my way. And the orcs are mine!
What happened? How could he defeat the Council of Magi?
Nudin called us to Perista, under the guise of reinforcing the barrier against the perished land. Instead, he tricked us, took control of most of our powers and attacked us. I cut him down with my sword, but he rose again and impaled me with his staff. All I can remember after that is the sound of fighting, destruction, and cries of death.
How did you survive?
Jerun. Nudin had forgotten he was with me in Perista. He found me, tended to my wounds and brought me out of the city to safety until I could summon up enough power to heal myself.
And Lot Yonan?
When Jerun carried me away, he was frozen in stone, like a statue. To my knowledge, the spell cannot be reversed.
You nod slowly. You don't have the strength to say anything else right now.
What will you do now?
Leave this place. I'm not so foolish as to believe that I could restrain the perished land or nod on. Why should I stay here?
Foolish, no! But cowardly!
You're on your way to the kingdom of the Secondlings, right? Then I will accompany you and leave Girdlegard by the High Pass.
We'll need all the help we can get. Nodon will have a lot worse in store for us than just orcs.
The Mager nods in agreement. Then she looks pensively at your rucksack.
Your rucksack? Why did Nodon want it?
I was taking some objects to Goren, one of Lot Yonan's family. He was murdered at Greenglade by an elf. There were books lying next to his body which he was planning to send to Turga the Fairfaced.
May I see them?
You nod, take the books out of your rucksack, and hand them to her. She goes through the letter and the books, one after another, without showing any sign of emotion. Finally, she closes the last of the books.
Is that all? They are only sagas and travelogues from the Outer Lands, which tell of legendary creatures and myths. I don't know why they should be of interest to Nodon.
There must be something in them that's important to him. He destroyed a whole village for them, and the vaults.
Possibly. I'll study the books. But let's sleep now. Jarun can keep watch. We are still being followed.
It would seem that one of the armies who've been following you since Lot Yonan's vaults has caught up with you. You can even smell the rancid grease the orcs use on their weapons. Boindil immediately prepares to fight, but Andakai demands you avoid confrontation. It would seem that one of the armies who've been following you since Lot Yonan's vaults has caught... You have put out a plate of food for the night every evening since Jarun and Andakai joined you on your journey, but still none of you have seen him eat. You decide to pay particular attention to him this evening, to try and find out what is under the helmet. Andakai is sitting not far from the giant, studying the books.
Have you found anything useful yet?
She looks up at you.
You think I will stay and fight if there is a spell in the books that might defeat Nodon?
Yours is the god of balance. Don't you see it as your duty to create a balance between light and dark?
Instead of answering, Andakai rubs her eyes and closes the books.
It's too dark to study. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Disgruntled, you watch the Mager as she walks over to her bed for the night. Your eyes fall upon Jarun and the plate at his feet, on which not a crumb of food is left. In the afternoon, with the sun low in the sky, the path leads you through a ravine. A glance at your map suggests that you're near to Boribor, the Orc realm.
Fracas, may we remain unscathed.
About a mile further on, Boindil suddenly stops in his tracks and sniffs.
Can you smell that? Piggy snouts! And lots of them too!
Let's proceed with caution. Perhaps we can take a few of them out before they raise the alarm.
Huh? Of course!
Bad idea.
Up there! We have to stop them before they can warn anyone!
Huh?
Huh?
No chance.
And what now? Yes, yes! What is it? Say goodbye forever!
Yes?
End it! What is it? We hardly put up a fight! Oh, what bad luck for you!
What is it?
Huh? Huzzah! Huh?
Huh?
Yeah! We hardly put up a fight! What is it? Of course! Vile creature! Yes, yes! I didn't hit you very hard! What is it? Yes? As good as done!
If I have to.
Huh? Of course! Yes, yes! I'm with you! What is it? Yes? As good as done! Out of my way! As
Not a
good as
bad
done!
idea.
What is it? Yes! As good as you! Huh? Say goodbye forever!
Yes?
Yeah! And what now? Of course! Yes, yes!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Huh?
We hardly put up a fight!
Understood. Pavrakas!
What is it? Not a bad
Another
idea.
one bites the dust! Next!
All right then.
Huh? I'm with you! Yes? All right!
What is it?
Yes?
Huh? Yeah! And what now? Ha-ha!
On my way.
Too easy!
Huh?
Out of my way! As good as done!
If I have to.
What is it? Huzzah!
Uh-huh.
Yeah!
Huh?
Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Now you've got me interested.
Yes?
What is it? What is it? Oh, he didn't hit you very hard.
What is it?
Yes? With pleasure. Who's next? Say goodbye forever.
Now you've got me interested.
Huh? Oh, what bad luck for you! And what now?
Huh?
Too easy! Wild creature! Pow! Another one bites the dust!
Dies with me.
What is it? On my way!
All right. Up there! We have to stop them before they can warn anyone.
Huh?
That's
What
it.
is done? And what now?
Chance.
Huh? What is it? On my way! With pleasure! Pow! Another one bites the dust!
What is it? Feel my power! Not a bad idea. If I have to.
And what now?
Now you've got me interested. All right then.
Uh-huh.
Yeah! Huh? What is it? What is it? And again. Oh, what bad luck for you! He hardly put up a fight. Who's next? He hardly put up a fight.
What is it?
Oh, he didn't hit you very hard.
Yes?
Kill. Huh?
No chance.
As good as done. What is it? I'm with you. Of course. Yes. All
Not a
right.
bad idea.
On my way. As good as done. Huh? I'm with you. Yes, yes. All
Not a
right.
bad idea.
Of course. I'm with you. Huh? Huzzah! Yes? Say goodbye forever.
He hardly put up a fight.
What a waste of time.
On my way.
Too easy.
What is it? Of course! Come here, you!
What is it? Not a bad idea.
He cheated!
Up there! We have...
And what now?
Huh? On my way!
What is it? All right then. If I have to, this is going to hurt.
Yes!
What is it?
Huzzah! Too easy! Who's next?
Do you think it's smart? Just letting me die over here?
With pleasure!
Now you've got me interested.
Too easy!
Huh? End it! On my way.
Put up
I didn't hit you very hard!
What is it?
Yes? Say goodbye forever! Oh, what bad luck for you!
Huh? I'm with you! Of course!
What is it? Yes?
I have to.
On my way!
If I have to.
On my way!
And what now?
Now you've got me interested. Not a bad idea.
Need help over here!
Quickly!
Huh?
Huh? At once.
Attack!
Yes?
Huh?
Take off my gloves.
Yes? On my way.
What is it?
Huh?
Vile creature!
With pleasure. I didn't hit you very hard. What is it?
Uh-huh. Understood.
Come here, you! Another one bites the dust!
Huh?
Yes! All right! Say goodbye forever! With pleasure!
What is it? All right then.
At once.
End it! What is it? Huh?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Huh?
Who's next?
Now you've got me interested. I'll tell you when I'm ready. No chance.
Oh, you make it very hard!
Yes? Understood. At once.
Attack!
What is it? If I have to.
Huh?
Now you've got me interested. Magic takes time.
Yes? And what now?
End it. For Vracus.
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
End it.
What is it?
Who's next?
On my way.
Attack! Horrible creature! Huh? Say goodbye forever! Put up a fight!
Now you've got me interested.
What is it? Of course!
What is it?
Too easy! What is it?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Yes! I'm on my way! Huh? Professor! What is it?
Yes? Huh? At
That's a
once.
bad idea.
Look for you!
What a waste of time.
Of course! Forever!
All right then. If I have to. With pleasure.
Huh?
No chance.
Yes? Look for you! Forever! Another one bites the dust.
Yes!
Of course!
Uh-huh. On my way.
Yeah! And what now? Huzzah!
What a waste of time.
Too easy!
Chests?
Yeah! Huh? Huh? With pleasure. Yes? Of course! Out of my way!
Idea.
Out of my way!
Idea.
Out of my way!
Bad idea.
What is it? I'm with you! Come here, you!
Uh-huh.
Attack! Huh? Huh? Who's next?
Pavrakas!
Yeah! Attack!
Vile creature!
What is it? With pleasure.
Out of my way! And what now? What is it? Out of my way! Out of my way! We should go down into the caves and vaults. There'll be more of them down there.
Or maybe we should concentrate on finally getting to Ogre's Death stronghold, Boindil.
You ignore the offended look on your friend's face and set off, leaving the Orc Mountains behind you. You can already see the oasis a day's journey away, but in the glimmer of the midday sun, you're not sure whether it might not just be a mirage. But the twins are convinced that there is a village here, and the prospect of a roof over your heads for the night keeps you going. The nearer you get to the oasis, the more the uneasy feeling grows that something's not right. It's too quiet, and you don't see any movement. Once you enter the village, your fears are confirmed. Your enemies have already been here.
This whole thing is probably a trap. We should...
Welcome to Pasnar. I'm sure the citizens would greet you themselves, if they could.
You recognize the elf immediately. You saw him with the leaders of the orcs, and he appeared to you in a dream after Greenglade. Or no, not in a dream.
Sintheras.
So we meet again, Tungdil. What do you think of my work in the vaults? It was a nice start, wasn't it?
An eerie smile sets on Sintheras's lips.
Wonderful. I can see the hatred in your eyes. Come on. Come and get your revenge.
Yes?
Yes? What is it? What is it? And again. What is it? Ha ha! Pow! Another one bites the dust. You're very hard. Oink, oink, little piggies!
Yes? Attack! On my way.
And what now? And again. What is it? Next.
Huh?
What is it? Of course. Yes, yes. Of course. Yes, yes. Huzzah! Huh? Yes? As good as done. On my way. Oh, what bad luck for you!
Yes?
Attack! End it! What is it? Come here, you! Huzzah! I didn't hit you very hard! He hardly put up a fight! And what now? Ha-ha! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Huzzah!
Huh?
Yeah!
On my way. Understood. For breakfast!
Yeah!
On my way. Yes?
All right, yes!
Let's go.
Of course! Huh? Huh? Put up a fight! And what now? Come here, you!
Yes? Understood.
Yeah! Huh? Oink, oink, little piggies!
Huh?
Vile creature! I didn't hit you very hard!
Yes?
Yeah!
At once. On my way. Understood. For breakfast!
He hardly put up a fight! Yes! With pleasure! Oh, what bad luck for you! What is it?
On my way.
Yes!
Let's go.
Huh?
Huh? Yes? On my way. Huh?
And what now?
Retreat! Back! Why are you fighting against us? You're the son of Samusin! You should have nothing to do with this unworthy scum!
I've had enough of fighting. It's about time we head to your home.
I've had enough too. But we've got several days in the desert ahead of us before we can enjoy a cold beer.
The longer we talk about it, the later we'll get to our beer. Let's go.
You've been traveling through the desert for days. The sand is simply everywhere. In your shoes, under your clothes, in your mouths. Even the makeshift cloths that you've wrapped around your heads is of little help. With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's death. It is as if you've passed through an invisible wall when the raging wind and sand suddenly fall silent. In front of you, an enormous massive towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadows over Ogre's Death Fortress, which nestles in the spurs of the mountain. Even from this distance it looks impressive, with its 4 defensive terraces, one above the other. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows with every step, and you feel the power returning to your limbs. You've almost done it.
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well... Before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, hear, King Gandagar, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west, and the perished land is stirring. It would seem that the Magi cannot sustain the barriers.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandur. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitors once and for all.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Hear, hear.
Madness. What are you talking about?
I do not recognize you, King Gandagar, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your senses to the point that you wish to ignore the words of our god?
Belendalin's gaze falls, as if incidentally, on the King of the Fourthlings' advisor.
Or is someone giving you bad advice?
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious disease spread by the pointy ears in the shafts of the Grey Range. Impossible!
I always knew it!
Treason!
I don't believe
They should
that.
pay for it!
To the pointy ears!
Enough! Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition with the elves. Yes, and even with the Thirdlings, if we are to defeat the perished land.
My High King, you cannot be serious!
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new High King? We have waited long enough.
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you. Before you take to your bed, please pay the High King and I a visit in the throne room.
Tungdil, come closer.
The power that the old High King radiated when he called the assembly to order has drained away from him. His body is sunken in the throne, but his eyes are alert and interested as he looks at you.
The lost son returns to his people. Thank Vrachus. Tell us what you learned on your journey.
You describe your adventure down to the smallest detail. Neither the king nor his advisor interrupts you. From time to time they nod, as though they were already aware of certain facts. Their brows become more furrowed with every passing minute. When you are finished with your story, you also have some questions.
What game is being played here?
Gandagar, as king of the Fourthlings, is to supersede me as High King, but his mind is poisoned with hatred towards the elves. He would probably win a war against them, but he would weaken us, and Girdlegard would not be helped by this. I was hoping for a great coalition with the elves, and even with the Thirdlings. I would have given anything to start the negotiations. In times of great need, only the common goal can count.
And which role have you planned for me?
Well, with you as a second aspirant, certain possibilities of protocol open up to us.
Why is Gandagar so full of hatred towards the elves?
His father and brother were murdered by elves. At least that's what's claimed.
No one knows the truth, just as no one knows how true this report about the Fiflings is. But isn't it strange that this letter has turned up now, just when it can play into the hands of the elf-haters? Many dwarves' hatred towards the elves is great, perhaps even greater than their honesty.
I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I'm happy to finally be among my people, but I will not ascend the throne. I hardly know anything about our customs and laws. Everything that I know, I have learned from books that Lot-Yonan gave me. There must be more suitable heirs than me.
Your renouncement honors you, but to be honest, you never had a claim. To stop Gandagar, we had to stall for time.
Lot-Yonan helped us with our little story. We don't even know if you are a Fourthling.
The king's advisor misinterprets your unbelieving gaze and quickly adds,
We're only being as deceitful as goblins for one solitary reason: to stave off possible harm to our people.
You feel as though you've been hit in the stomach. If this is true, not only have you lost your newly found kingdom, but Master Lot-Yonan also didn't see it as necessary to inaugurate you in the conspiracy.
I understand why you want to prevent a High King Gandagar. He would be blind to our real problems.
Gandagar's only liability is that he lets Bislipper whisper dark thoughts in his ear. The advisor is the problem, not the king.
A problem that I am fortunate enough not to have.
The High King smiles weakly at his advisor.
Gandagar is a good dwarf and a good king, and I am certain he could also be a good High King if he was free of Bislipper's lies and false advice.
Your plan has a flaw. Even if I were to light up, I couldn't win. No one on the council will vote for me.
You don't have to win.
Belendalin points to the Steelies in the throne room.
It's written in our laws that the High King can oppose an heir if he isn't elected unanimously. He can then demand a duel or a contest in order to determine the winner.
Such a contest could take weeks, if not months, and it would win us some time.
Is this really the best for our people? If you cannot dissuade Gandagar from carrying out his plans, it could end in a fraternal war.
Don't worry.
We'll open up his eyes and he will recognize the malice of his feigned friend. We just need time, and you must gain it for us.
I'm not sure. What if it goes wrong and we split the dwarves into two factions?
We won't let it get that far. But you, Tungdil, will have to help us.
We will support you with all our power. You will not take this road on your own.
All right then. If you believe in it, I will follow your plan.
No one acts more honorably than you, Tungdil.
Belendalin smiles at you encouragingly.
You say Andakai may have found a way to defeat Nodon. And she suspects that the Magus is possessed by a demon from the Outer Lands. It may be possible to kill this demon with an axe called Keenfire.
What kind of contest would you have us compete in? Gandagar is surely superior to me in many things.
Everyone in the council will write a task on a piece of paper, and from them the contest will be drawn.
And this only once you have made a speech, and have won over as many as possible in the council to your side. The more sympathetic the council is towards you, the higher the chances of a contest that fits your abilities.
Speech? You're beginning to like this whole thing less and less.
I have commissioned armor that is worthy of a prince. It will be delivered to your chamber by sunrise.
You say goodbye with a queasy feeling in your stomach. You always thought that you were articulate, but the prospect of having to make a speech in front of the large council doesn't exactly fill you with elation. You skim over the ornate runes and look for the passage that Gundrabor and Belendalin told you about.
If there is more than one candidate from a kingdom, and none can bring together all of the votes for themselves in a ballot, the High King can decide whether to declare the candidate with the most votes the winner, or to have the candidates compete in a contest to determine the victor.
Vracus, who made the dwarves of stone, has himself been hewn from stone by these self-same dwarves. A masterly piece of work, like one of which only the masons of the secondlings can still accomplish today. The coal fire is lit when the kingdoms meet for council. It has lain dormant much too long, until it was finally lit again a few days ago.
Ah, Your Highness!
High King Gundrabur seems, well,
old? He is ancient, even by Dwarvish standards. He has been old for as long as I can remember.
Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur always has the final word. His mind is younger than all of ours, I tell ya.
Belendalin should become High King. I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What fighting spirit! We had to drag him off the battlefield.
The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen as the new king of all dwarves. And, as the firstlings didn't turn up...
For the first time you have the chance to appreciate the beauty of the place. You suddenly forget what you wanted to say.
I've never seen such masterful masonry. To be honest, I didn't even know that stone could be worked in such a way.
Ha ha ha! The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Fracas made us. Well, he made some of us into warriors too.
Boandal glances at his brother, and he laughs with satisfaction while looking around the hall himself.
The High King and his advisor don't know where I come from either. But they only want to use me to delay Gandagar's coronation and ultimately prevent war with the elves.
Whatever happens, we will stand by your side, Scholar.
You're not sure whether the moral support of your friends will be much use in a contest with Gandagar, but it feels good not having to go through the whole thing on your own.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a lovely dark ale in the glowing anvil.
I think I first need to organize my thoughts before I can talk to them. You can't see the bottom. When the secondlings named the Blue Range their home, there was nothing here but hard rock and a few small caves. Fantastic! Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from barren ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
Do you know these Undergrounders?
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched from there against our strongholds for thousands of years.
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by a demon is on the loose.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands has taken possession of Nudin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him. Where is this Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of Sigurdaisy wood, inlays made of all the noble metals, the blades studded with diamonds, smithed in the hottest forge.
We are dwarves. We have the most talented craftsmen.
And you have the Sigurdaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more Sigurdaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you manage to forge the axe, it might all be just a fairy tale. It's too little to wager our lives on.
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and I can smith.
The Mager looks at you thoughtfully, and for a short time it seems as though your enthusiasm is rubbing off on her. But then she says,
I wish you good luck, Tungdil.
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your realm and all the other realms?
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't wish to give up my realm, but I would only be prolonging the suffering unnecessarily.
But
you don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, You can't think of anything that could cause her to stay.
Many thanks, Honourable Mago, for all that you have done. A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some smoked sausage. Mmm.
The intense smell of the cheese makes your mouth begin to water. You are looking forward to the first proper bed for weeks.
Goren found an answer to the threat. Keenfire. No matter how difficult it is to forge it, we must do it. We don't know of anything else that could injure a demon.
You are looking forward. You undress and lie down. Before you know it, your eyes close and you fall asleep. When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Even one who wears the armour of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
What are you doing in here?
Ignoring your question, Bislipur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, you want to be one of our kingdom? A foundling brought up by a wizard? One wouldn't think it possible. And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the council on his side. Why don't you spare yourself the disgrace and just not turn up in front of the council? Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything you need your whole life long. In exchange, you support Gandagard instead of challenging him.
And what if I don't withdraw my candidacy?
You wish to stand against your own king? A stray dwarf offending a deserving leader such as Gandagar through his claim? No one in the Brown Range will like that. Prepare yourself for life as an outsider among the Fourthlings.
Proof? Oh, you mean like your letter that has been found after 1,000 cycles and makes the elves responsible for the fall of the Fiflings?
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful, and what could possibly be more suited to get one over on us than letting the perished land in and presenting us as the scapegoat?
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now almost eradicated.
I said they are deceitful, not wise.
You have had enough of this dwarf. He makes you feel uneasy, or worse still.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.